What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rob from Two Bros, Two Lives
with David.
Hey, today's our first podcast, and we're going to be talking about our life experiences.
Everyday battles, ups and downs, peaks, highs, lows, everyday life.
That's a fact. And the funny part is that me and David actually grew up in the same town, and we played baseball around the same time. I mean, I know I'm 3 years older than you. I'm showing my age right now.
Yeah, we both played on the same Little League team, but not at the same time.
I know. For a second, I thought that we were actually on the same team, and I was like, oh, that's kind of dope, but it ended up being that we weren't, because Little League is different. Like, they actually go by your age, like, group or range.
Yeah, it was like 10, 12. Oh, yeah, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah,
majors, minors.
Yeah, something like that. Who knows? And, it's crazy because, for this first episode, we're just going to be talking about basically growing up and what it was like, living in the neighborhood that we lived in. You do come from a family of marriage where your parents are together. Yeah. I come from a family that is divorced. So he's going to give his kind of take on what it was like in the beginning. Today we'll talk about like early childhood and what that was like, and kind of, what it was like growing up in our neighborhood. So maybe you want to kind of open up with how life was for you growing up in this neighborhood, and, your experiences as a kid and what it was like, and also too, like, baseball. Bring that in, because maybe we have some athletes out there we could inspire. Yeah. You never know.
We got Sunday leagues.
That is true as adults. That's
two different teams, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a fallout, but we'll get to that, because that's what happens with friends. Sometimes you do have a fallout, and sometimes you reconnect, and that's the beauty of life, is that it always goes full circle. But talk about your life, bro.
So, born and raised in Fairview, 27 years. 27 years is a long time.
It is, man.
I just turned 27 a couple days ago.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wish this man a birthday on the comment section. And make sure to like and subscribe while you're watching, and also give us a check out on Apple and Spotify, as we're going to be posting it there as well. But continue your story.
So, growing up, only child.
That's what we actually have in common, actually. We were both only children, too. So
only child.
Yeah. And what was it like in a sense of growing up? Like, did you have any like close friends that were like that you could call a brother, or did you have a girl that was like maybe like a sister?
I had a couple close friends, but with time and you get older, you fall out, but then you find each other along the way. I mean, I know Rob. I known you in Little League. We were like 9. I was 9 and 10.
Well, I know your mother worked in the school, so I always knew your mom, and that's the funny part. Like, I always knew his mom. I mean, I think I knew of you, or we've seen each other, but I don't remember really too. I mean, I remember seeing you as a kid. I remember because I was so much older.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time when you're little, right? Like, age is a thing. It does matter at some point. But yeah, no. I mean, so I mean, like, you had a couple people that
I had a couple friends, here and there. Close friends.
Right.
Played wiffle ball like every day. Played 2-hand touch. Played manhunt. Played all that stuff. But like growing up, I was an only child. It had its ups and it's had its downs. Sometimes you're bored. Sometimes whatever's whatever. But I didn't mind it. I wasn't a spoiled only child. So some people say when you're an only child, you get everything under the sun. I wasn't the case.
You weren't that blessed. You weren't that. No.
I saved my money. Every time I had allowance, I'd go to the store and buy my own Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards.
Man,
and all that
I
stuff.
remember that. Do you remember Digimon?
Oh,
or was that too? Am I showing my age right now?
I remember Digimon.
Okay.
Blade.
Oh, you see, I was never a fan of Blade. Let him rip.
Yeah,
I was never a fan of that.
But not growing up, I played baseball all the time. I wanted to play football. My mom didn't want me to play football.
Too aggressive of a sport.
Yeah.
We know how that goes. We know how young moms are and how young moms can get. So definitely. But and we might have some parents on the channel too. So stick around for that.
But growing up, I come from a small, tight group of a family.
Yeah.
My grandparents lived right next door. It was like Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah. Which is a great show, by the way.
I walked right into the house whenever I was I'd get in trouble as a kid. Yeah. I just run outside my house, knock on the door, and go stay there.
Hide out at grandparents' house. And it's funny because I actually have that same similar thing. Just I didn't have my grandparents living next to me, but I had it where I grew up with my grandparents and they actually raised me. But one of the things I want to ask you is that, when you talk about baseball, right, for the athletes out there, how pivotal was that, or important in your life was that, especially with academics and in school? Did that drive you, to want to do more with yourself, or what was that like?
Yeah. I mean, I liked playing baseball. It drove me to be better. I mean, when I played, I never was. I pitch and I play first base. Growing up when I was a kid, in like Little League.
Oh, come on, get some third base in there, you big kid. he got the guns. He got the guns. He got the Shalons. Come on, hey.
But nah, I didn't want to pitch. My dad like forced me to pitch.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
I do remember. I do have to say this about David. I actually remember when he was in Little League, I would see his dad, and he would and he was your coach, right? Yeah, I remember that.
We were Luigi's Pasta Pizza. We were Safe Drug, and we were Kenny's Boys.
Manja.
Yeah, Kenny's Boys was like the Golden State Warriors. We won like every freaking year.
Yeah,
every year.
Because I remember when I was on it, I actually won the championship. I don't know if you know the story.
Wasn't it the
walk-off home run? Yeah, I hit a walk-off home run the year. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you came after me. Yeah, I ended up hitting a walk. I hit a walk-off home run to win the championship. It was such a good feeling.
Yeah, Little League baseball's not the same anymore.
No, I don't think so. I think now it's just too competitive. I think there's so many, there's so many people now that play and that are so good at it, and it's like now it's kind of hard to find, like that one good person. There's so many people now that are good.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good for the talent, but then it's like it kind of sucks as well because now you have kids that are so good. They don't play for their talent. They play for like
travel ball.
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing now that's been taken over. But what was that like playing with your dad as your coach? As a kid,
it had its ups and downs.
Of course,
it had its ups and downs. I remember one time I was playing ball, and I think I didn't do what he wanted me to do. He just said, "Get out of here."
He's like, "Get him out of here."
Yeah, no,
you went home. You took your bike and ran home.
No, he told. I think I didn't follow his order, and I think I was like, oh, I don't have to do this because he's my dad.
Yeah.
He told me like, "You're done for the day," and I sat up in the stands.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. Damn.
But like my mom was a coach too. She did the book.
Oh yeah.
She was in the dugout.
Oh, come on.
She did the book. It was like a family affair in there.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, that's cool. And then fast forwarding, what was it like in high school for you with that?
Well, I mean, I only played 1 year in high school.
Right. Actually, it was my senior year, and you tried out, right?
Freshman year I didn't play because my grades were wishy-washy.
Right.
Sophomore year I played.
Right.
I feel like I got screwed out of not playing on varsity, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Junior year I played.
Yeah.
I feel like I got screwed over again with going to varsity, so I quit. I quit. I quit after the first scrimmage.
Yes, you did. I remember that.
Yeah. I remember I had a family emergency, and I told the coach. Well, I told somebody on the team to tell the coach I had a family emergency to go to practice.
Right.
What happens? We show up to Sea Caucus, and it's like 20 degrees out on a March like 3rd, and he said, "You're not playing today." Okay. Deuces. I next day went down to the locker, cleaned it all out, and just left.
Dang.
And then senior year, I just didn't want to play no more.
Yeah.
At that point, I was over it.
Yeah. At that point, I think I'd be tapped out too.
And that's why sports in this vicinity are not good. Yeah. Because it's too political.
Yeah. I think that's everywhere though. Yeah. I think that's everywhere.
But that's why if you're a good school and you're good at sports, it's not political.
Yeah.
Nowadays, all these little areas, it's political.
Well, I think to be honest with you, we'll talk about this at some point. I think now it's become where I think everybody's more accepted because also too, we had it where for us, this is like where people were cool with the actual coaches. Like they were the brother or, you know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of that goes into it. That's why it's like when you talk about political aspect of sports, in your neighborhood or where you live, where you're coming from, it plays a big role. And I think now, kind of like with, it's 2023, you have a different, agenda now where everybody's kind of like has to be accepted and it's all in one. I think now maybe it's changed. I don't know because I've been out of school for so long. So I don't know what high school looks like nowadays.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. I know. I can imagine
that's a story for another day.
Yeah, we'll save that one. But, well, that's cool, man. That's cool to hear it's crazy because we just went through your childhood in like less than 10 minutes. And
then now.
We'll save the adult part for another podcast. We got up to high school, so that's the good part. We finished David's high school experience, and not even high school, just childhood overall. So but Yeah, you have anything you want to ask or add on or
Nah, I think I said what.
that part?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay. Well, y'all heard about David. Now we're gonna talk about moi. And by the way, if you see a Star Wars shirt, it's because yes, I am the Eternal Sith. I also do Star Wars, but we'll save that for another time. So I'm gonna talk about my childhood and everything that I went through, I endured from being a kid and to basically senior year. For me growing up in the same neighborhood as David, for me actually I was born in New York City. And I actually grew up kind of like before in Washington Heights and also Williamsburg, Queens, or actually Brooklyn. I don't know why I thought Queens, but yeah, it's the same thing. I don't know, but it's all
New
five.
York.
Yeah, New York, New York. Hopefully, we don't get copyrighted for that. But
City that never sleeps.
yeah. I grew up there. Then my dad actually ended up moving. He brought us to New Jersey, and that's where I have been my whole life. My parents, again, I do come from divorced parents. For those of you out there that are kind of in that same similar boat, y'all can, maybe understand that. And then, obviously you have people that have parents that are married just like David and,
40 years.
Yeah, see, I don't have that. My parents,
God bless America.
Yeah, my parents separated when I was about 5 years old. So it was tough. I said it definitely had its troubles. For me, I wasn't really the best in school academically and also too, I guess you could say like, what's like the other part? Not academically, but behavior wise. Like I don't know if you ever heard about me like that. Like if you know about me a little bit like that.
All I know is you were in crutches a lot.
I was always hurt. It's true. It's true. No, but like overall, like I guess in my youth, I was like basically like a rebel. I was always out. I was barely home. I lived with my father. Like I said, my parents were separated. I lived with my dad. I don't know about you guys in the comment section who you lived with growing up, mom or dad. I mean, I did get to see my mom a lot, so that was also cool to have that experience of seeing both my parents kind of like equally. I was all over, it was a little. It was kind of more like, you had to be on it was more growing up and figuring out your path and which direction you wanted to go. And for me, baseball was that pivotal point for me. My dad actually showed me baseball when I was about like 6 or 7, and that stuck with me. And my mother took me actually to my first tryout, and it was for VFW. The worst team, the worst team. And, it was just bad. Like I was terrible. Let me tell you, but I was bad.
Remember El Waterloo?
Who?
There was a team called El Waterloo.
I don't remember that.
And
It probably was. It was probably
I think there was the Italian Coupe.
Yes, I was on Italian Coupe. Yeah. That was with Tyler's dad. I don't know if you remember Tyler. Yeah. I was on Italian Coupe. That was my 10 when I was 10 and 11. And then, I don't know. But I was on VFW. That was really, really bad. It's just, we were terrible. I was terrible as well. I can't even front. And then I came back the next 2 years, 11 and 12, and I really kind of like established who I was, even like in town, because like, I mean, everybody started knowing me kind of more as I got, I progressed with baseball. And that was that. I mean,
did you play in middle school for Lincoln School?
I'll be honest with you. I tried out, but my grades, because actually the principal that was the principal in the other school ended up coming here. I think you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that, but yeah. So that principal from my elementary knew me very well and knew my father very well. And I actually gave that principal a really tough time. And when that principal transferred to middle school and the other principal retired, it made my life hell where I couldn't play any of the sports. So I was actually, you could actually fail 2 classes and still play a sport, but they actually held against me a lot of things. Yeah.
I thought it was you couldn't fail.
No, you couldn't fail 2.
Really?
Yeah, it was 2. I remember that because I had a whole argument actually. Can you imagine like middle school and I'm arguing with people, like telling them what they have on paper? It was terrible. It's just when they have it out for you, they have it out for you. So there was that. So I didn't get to play.
Going back to the middle school, Mr. Bosgra.
Oh yeah, that was the man. Cool, man. That was the man. He wanted me, bro. I was hitting home runs in the practices. Like I wanted to play so bad. I hit it over the right field. I was hitting it like crazy. I don't know, bro. He just made my.
I won MVP that year.
Did you really?
8th grade, yeah.
Good-ish, bro. Good-ish. Yeah, no, I wish I got to play. I didn't get to play middle school. Middle school was a hard time too because my 8th grade year, my dad actually had stage 4 cancer. Thank God he is alive. He's good. He's past remission now, I guess you could say, right? He is good, but that was a really tough time for me because I was basically alone my 8th grade year. My mother lived in Queens. I was going back and forth from Jersey to Queens, taking transportation at the age of like 13. I was taking the
By yourself?
by myself, dude.
Wow.
I was taking the train. I was taking the 7 train to the Port Authority at 4:30 in the morning. I would get up, skate to the train station, end up waiting for the bus. The bus terminal didn't open till like I think it was 7 o'clock.
Wow.
And that was when I took the first. But I would be at the transit for like about an hour.
Wow.
And I used to go to Old Bomb Pain to get my breakfast. I remember I'd have a bagel with cream cheese. I'd be chilling with my skateboard, and it was a hard 8th grade year for me. Was very, very hard. It hit me very, very hard. It was just a difficult time. But like I said, my father ended up coming out of cancer. He fought it, and he's alive now. And then fast forward into high school, I played baseball. I was kind of like all over with that. It was I played at a high level. I played travel ball and all this stuff. That was really, really good. And then I ended up coming to Cliffside Park. I went to Leonia for a little bit. Then I ended up going to Cliffside. And I had a good time. I mean, I played all 4 years. Actually, I 3 years. Freshman year, I played JV. But I ended up batting .542, which was pretty good. I actually won a box of White Castle cheeseburgers. There's 32 of them. Because we had a competition for who had the best, like who did the best in JV.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting a whole bunch of.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I got a whole bunch of burgers. But let me tell you, they were actually good. I actually like White Castle, low key.
The day after is no bueno.
No, I actually didn't go to school.
No,
I
no
was
bueno.
sick. I was so sick. But after that, yeah, I ended up playing high school. I went to junior and senior year on Cliffside. Played there. I did play varsity both years. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, I had a good time. I didn't enjoy the last couple of days though of that because there was a point where a friend of ours that we know, I don't know if I ever told you what happened. Yeah, I actually ended up quitting 3 days before the season ended because a friend of ours actually was kind of, I guess you could say, bullied. And I actually didn't like that. And he was, like I say, he's a good friend of ours. And
yeah.
I told the coaches, I said, I'm not going to play on a team that's going to stand for this. And they were like kind of shocked and they didn't want me to actually leave. And I was just like, no, I'm like, I was like, here's my jersey. I'm out. And that was it for me for high school, man. And, you know, fast forward now, still play baseball, you know, but we'll talk about that at another time for our adult life. But this is kind of, this is what it's been, you know, growing up. It's, you know, it's 2 different lives, you know, 2 bros, 2 lives. And that's kind of like the beauty and full circle of how you see it, right? And we can come here and talk and, you know, that's how life is, bro.
Yeah, you know, like I said before, life has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many times you fall down, you got to get right back up.
And that's the beauty of it, right? We're here now.
Yeah.
We've had so many downs and we're here now. We're with the ups talking about our experience as 2 bros, 2 lives. And at that point, go ahead, what you got to say?
Well, to talk back to like high school days and like middle school days and stuff, it had some great times, great moments. I remember in middle school.
What did you enjoy more though? That's what I wanted to ask you. Middle school or high school more? Because I have the best. I'll tell you mine.
I want to say middle school.
Me too.
Middle school is so. You know why? It's because that 6th grade to 8th grade peak is like you don't have a care in the world.
Also, until you're finding yourself too.
Yeah, but like in high school, you know, if you have to like juggle, oh, am I going to go to college? What am I going to do after school?
Yeah.
I got to get a job. Learning how to drive and everything.
Oof. Yeah, I remember that time.
6th grade to 8th grade is like peak, like go to school, come home, play Modern Warfare. And like no care in the world. You don't have a care in the world. And if there is anybody that's still in school listening, just enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Because when you get older, you have stuff you got to worry about real life.
Yeah.
But middle school was probably my best time.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was 7th or 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last day of school. And somebody let out a rat.
I knew you were going to say, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Somebody let out a rat. I think it was 7th grade. I remember we watched, we went down to the auditorium and watched, I think, the 8th grade practice, their run through on the graduation. I don't know, was that yours?
Probably, yeah.
Because you graduated a year before me, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I think we watched the 8th grade warm up, and then we went to the classroom and they let out a rat.
Yeah, I remember in the boys' bathroom. Yeah.
No, it was in our classroom.
No, but there was something in the boys' bathroom too.
Oh, they were lighting shit up on fire.
Yeah.
Throwing stink bombs.
Yeah, I remember. Yes, the stink bombs. Yes, I remember.
I remember
that.
there was one time when well, going back to the rat situation, it was the last day of school and somebody let out a rat, and the teacher was like, "There's a rat in the room. There's a rat in the room." The principal, which he was talking about earlier, wouldn't let us leave until we ratted out the person. No, nobody was ratting the person out.
Nah.
We were there like hours.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom, because she worked in the school system, and she used to do the bus run, and like I used to take the bus home, and she was like, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?"
Yeah.
Couldn't leave.
Damn.
And then eventually, the kid ratted himself out. The rat, who bought the rat, ratted himself out. But like going back to like middle school, it was a fun time. They would go give these substitute teachers hell.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my
I remember,
gosh.
yeah, even us too, like even me, like our grade, I feel like we were bad. Like our year, there was a whole bunch of, because we had a lot of kids that had gotten held back that were older.
Yeah.
Like my year was crazy. We had a lot of older kids.
Oh, I remember the one kid, I think this kid was like 15 in the 8th grade. I forgot his name. I think he got arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't mention names, but yeah, we know. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It was an interesting time. Like I have to say, for me too, middle school was my favorite time. Like I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like high school, I had a lot of laughs too. I had a lot of freaking laughs in high school, but middle school, I don't know, something about our middle school just felt really wholesome, and it felt very family oriented, and I really enjoyed it. There's one teacher that will always be with me. I don't know if she's still alive, but
Who is it?
I don't know if you remember Miss Walsh.
Yeah.
She's still alive. I know she retired, but I don't know if she's alive.
Yeah.
She's
still alive.
Oh,
I think I'm not sure.
Because I know the neighborhood that she lives in. I just don't know if she either. Yeah.
But I think Fairview was more wholesome because in our town that we grew up in, middle school, K through 8th grade is all Fairview.
Right.
And then when you graduate 8th grade, you go into Cliffside.
Right.
Where it's combined, and you don't really, that freshman year, you don't really know everybody.
Right. Unless you were friends with people from the other neighborhood. Like I knew a couple of the people from there, also too from baseball too. That also helped out too. If you played a sport, you kind of knew who was who from the other neighborhood. So
Cliffside Park Fair.
yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, I would have to say for me, but comment down below, guys, like what was your experience like in middle school, or high school? What was your favorite time? Was it middle school? Was it high school? Was it even elementary? I mean, we didn't even ask that, but I guess because elementary, you're kind of still growing up. Like,
and I remember I was a terror in kindergarten.
Oh my god!
I was cutting people's hair. I was biting people.
But I think we all. I think elementary. That's why I don't. I guess that's why I kind of.
Funny story. Throughout my middle school years,
or elementary
to middle school, whatever, I had a card that said I was allergic to glue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I remember.
Were you really?
I don't think so. I don't know. I was in pre-K, and we were doing arts and crafts, and like I was doing stuff with glue, and I went whoop right in my eye.
I mean, if you put it in your eye, that
my eyes went shut.
It's glue.
I know, but they gave me a card that said I was allergic to glue. So in art class, I would use double-sided tape. Mr. Haggerty would give me the double-sided tape. I couldn't use glue.
Oh my god, that is so fun. I did not know that about this guy.
So if anybody that has kids out there, do not let your kid put glue in their eyes.
I mean, I would hope not. Yeah, that's bad teaching, whoever let that happen. But we're not. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, comment down below. Let us know your experience with life overall. Tell us what was very pivotal in your life, what it was like growing up with parents that are married or parents that are divorced. What was your favorite time growing up? Was it elementary school? Was it middle school? Was it high school? As a young adult, well, kid, I would say, not adult, because we'll get into college after in the adulthood for another time. But we want to thank everybody for hopping on. This has been really cool, man. Like for the first podcast, getting into like our life with him. Look, like I learned stuff about him that I didn't even know about, the whole glue thing. That's news to me. So hey, but again, we want to thank all you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to comment down below everything that you enjoyed about this podcast and what you want to see us talk about. Give us some suggestions that you would want us to talk about going forward that we can bring to life.
Yeah, we're gonna just be talking about everyday events.
Yeah.
Throughout our lives, my life, his life. There's been ups and there's been downs.
Yeah.
And we actually like, I want to say thank you to Cliffside Park doing that alumni game.
Yeah.
Because this podcast and probably we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that.
Yeah, it's true. Because we did have a fallout, which we'll talk about probably in the next episode when it comes to life and adulting and what comes with friendships and all that. And we'll get into what happened because it's actually really interesting and it's kind of dumb, but also too, that's where age comes in and maturity comes in because you end up living your life and you see what's important, what's not, and also too, how dumb things are as you're young and then getting older. And yeah.
And like in life, you only have a couple friends that actually stay true.
Yeah.
And like people come and go, cars come and go, everybody comes and
girls come and go.
Yeah,
we know that. We know that.
Topic for another day.
Yeah, for sure.
But friends stick together.
Yeah.
And like I know Rob, we became really close friends. I think you reached out to me one day when you wanted to play baseball with me.
Yeah.
I think I was like 20.
Yeah.
And then from there, we became close friends.
Yeah, and we've been talking ever since. Like I said, we did have a moment that we kind of like fell off. But like I said, we'll talk about that at another time and get more into it.
But true friends stick together.
Amen to that, bro.
Through thick and thin.
Amen to that, my guy. Well, Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Again, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Enjoy it too on Apple and Spotify whenever. Hopefully we get to put it out there. I'm going to try to work on that. He's going to try to work on it as well. We'll do the video aspect. But again, guys, thank you so much. Stay around for next week's episode. This is episode 1. And do you have anything you want to say before we hop on?
Thank you to anybody and everybody watching. Like, subscribe, share. My philosophy with this podcast and in general, as long as it reaches across the aisle with one person, to get your voice out. I wanted to start this podcast for something where you can vent and just talk. Like, nowadays nobody wants to talk.
Yeah,
nobody wants to talk.
I think they do. I mean, everybody's podcast. I just think it's to another extent. I think you're talking about a deeper level in a sense of feelings, like what people don't really like voice out. That I agree with you. I think a lot of people have a tendency to not use their voice, and
you need to speak up. Everybody needs to speak up.
Yeah, and listen.
And that's what I gotta learn too.
Yeah, we're learning that as we go. But hey, hopefully we can help you guys, as he said, reach at least one person that takes this podcast and and runs with it, and it's an inspiration for them. Because again, like I've had a lot of moments in my childhood. Again, we didn't get into everything deep, but I've had some pretty crazy life experience where it was just like my life almost ended as well. I've had moments like that, and if I'm here today, I've changed myself from being a kid that did was a troublemaker basically in school, and I'm here now to talk to you guys. I mean, it shows that at the end of the day, anything is possible. And as long as you come from a good place, you have a good heart and you have a good head on your shoulders, you'll be fine in life and you will succeed at anything that you want to do.
Be a good person.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you guys for tuning in today, guys. Horns up. Peace.